What's up, you guys? Welcome to Hollyscoop's Moments of the Week. I'm Devin Howard.
And I am Kourtney Revolution.
Okay, Kourtney, there was a lot of tea that went down this week, mostly regarding Kourtney, Scott, and Sofia, of course, but also there was some news about Khloe and Tristan. They seem to be getting along really well. We've got more on that. Plus, there are a few other stories that we really didn't have time to get into during the week this week, so be sure to stay tuned. Those are coming up at the end. But first, let's talk about Kourtney, Scott, and Sofia and all the drama that they've been going through. So, Scott turned 37 this week. He celebrated his birthday with the kids and Kourtney. They all went out to Utah to this resort called Amangiri, which is like supposedly a very healing and spiritual place. Kourtney posted a bunch of stories from the hotel where they were and from Lake Powell, and based on Scott's minimal uploads, it did appear that he was there with her. It's been a pretty crazy year for Scott with his short-term admission into rehab and a split from Sofia. And it looks like he and Kourtney are kind of jumping back into their old ways. And we have more news and more information coming up on that. But what did you take away from these stories this past weekend, Kourtney?
I mean, I'm glad that it sounds like Scott is trying to just get back to being him. I do feel like if him and Kourtney get back together, it will be a ploy. We know that Sofia wasn't really on board with being on the show like that, so she doesn't really fit into the perfect picture of the Jenner family. So it's very understandable, and I get it why all of a sudden she's being slowly eliminated. They're separating, but you know, it doesn't mean they can't get back together down the line. It's just very familiar, I'll say.
There were sources that did say Scott and Sofia would reconcile eventually, but then we've also heard insiders who have come forward and said that Scott and Kourtney are still in love. Well, based on this next update that I want to fill you in on, a source told E! News that the former couple had a really, really relaxing weekend last weekend, and they loved the change of scenery. They said, quote, there was nobody around, and they felt like they had it all to themselves. The source also said that Scott is doing a lot better and is focused on healing. Kourtney has really been there for him since his rehab exit. E! also mentioned that Scott and Sofia are still in touch, but they're not seeing each other. So whenever you break up with somebody and you continue to talk, that obviously muddies the water quite a bit. We did see that Sofia didn't wish him a happy birthday, which obviously fueled those breakup rumors even more, and then the official breakup announcement came out. So the fact that Kourtney and Scott had this amazing weekend together and they were really like relaxed and it was just what they needed, to me that sounds like things are getting a little bit romantic between the two of them. Do you agree, Kourtney, or where do you stand on that?
I'm not sure, Devin. Sometimes I look at Scott and Kourtney, their relationship, through the lens of, well, I would never want my kids to grow up and see that I didn't take care of their father when he needed me the most. You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be that Khloe loves her kids so much that she respects the connection that they will eventually continue to grow and foster with Scott. So I get why she's been there. Because who wants to grow up and be like, wow, you let my dad go off the rails and you weren't there for him? You let his younger girlfriend take care of him? She doesn't have the experience. You've been with him for so long. So why didn't you take care of him? It makes sense, Devin, but I don't want them to get back together.
Okay, see, that's where we are disagree, because I wouldn't mind seeing them back together, and you guys probably know that from our morning tea shows that we did this week. But now let's get into this Scott and Sofia official breakup announcement. So on Thursday, they officially parted ways, or at least we learned that they officially parted ways after dating for 3 years. A source said, quote, they're technically split, but Sofia has been in touch with Scott, of course. It's been a rough couple weeks for Scott. An E! News source said there wasn't a fight or anything bad that happened between them. Sofia just wants to do her own thing while Scott focuses on his health. A source said, quote, Sofia thinks Scott has a lot on his plate right now, thinks it's best for them to be apart so he can focus on himself. She's only looking out for him and his best interests, and it was primarily her decision for them to split. And like I mentioned before, there are people who think they will get back together. However, a conflicting report from Page 6 came out that said their breakup was a lot less amicable than E! News is making it sound like it was. Page 6 wrote that past traumas and old habits caused Sofia to just get fed up. And then the report also says that Kourtney and Scott's relationship made things very difficult for Sofia, which I can see. Speaking of Kourtney, apparently their weekend getaway was entirely her idea. Like I said before, Kourtney finds that place in Utah to be very healing, so she knew Scott would benefit from being there. The source told Hollywood Life that Scott has been working on his issues and making a huge effort to get better, so that makes it easy for her to have him around. He is sad about his split from Sofia, but Sofia is just ready to forge her own path and doesn't want to be defined by the men in her life. And an insider revealed to Us Magazine that there's always been a bit of tension with Sofia not wanting to be defined by her dad's career or her relationship with Scott. She's been trying to separate herself from both of them career-wise so she can pave her own way. So that's that Scott, Sofia, Kourtney news. Let us know what you think about all of that. And now let's get into Khloe Kardashian, because she's been making an appearance on our channel quite a bit this week. She changed her hair. Tristan loved it. She changed more than her hair. So just get your barf bags ready, you guys. Tristan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we threw up, girl, because I threw up. I was like,
yeah. Me too. I saw that. I was like, oh, please stop. So Khloe posted that unrecognizable photo of herself, which you can see here. We'll put it up for you. She does not look like herself. I think it's just a bad case of Facetune. Tristan apparently loved that Khloe didn't look anything like her usual self. He commented baddie, which I'm annoyed about. Despite the backlash, Khloe reportedly loves her new look, which she says is just a new hair color. A source said that she just loves her darker hair. She did it because of some upcoming projects that are being filmed. And it was suggested that she go darker, and she was happy to do it. I don't know what projects require her to change her whole face, but that's a different story entirely. Anything you want to add about that, Kourtney?
That Facetune made her look like she got a head transplant. Like, Facetune shouldn't do that, Devin. It should not look like you got a whole new head. Like, I get that the Kardashians, their machine runs off of outrage and attention, but that one I just could not ignore. She looked like a Looney Tune.
Yeah, she did, like a Bratz doll or something.
Yes, like a Bratz doll. Devin, you hit it right on the head. Bratz! That's what she looked like. Just like a Bratz doll. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
I know. And then we also talked about on the morning tea how she clapped back at a troll who said, why does your face always look different? And she said, obviously because of my weekly face transplant, which is not true. And it wasn't the best clapback. Khloe said way better clapbacks, but she said something. It's worth mentioning. Now let's get into these additional stories that we didn't get to necessarily cover on our channel this week. The police got a call from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle after drones were flying over their home here in Los Angeles. According to a new report by the Daily Beast, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, it's so hard for me to say all together, have had, quote, at least 5 drone-related incidents at their new LA home. A spokesperson for the LAPD said an incident was reported on May 20th and an alleged Memorial Day incident. The publication also stated that LAPD said that Harry and Meghan's neighborhood have had, quote, an ongoing issue with drones flying over residences. A friend of the couple reportedly told the Daily Beast, quote, it's like people forget that they are real people, but this is a real family. They are not asking for any special treatment. They are just asking for the safety and security we all expect in our own homes to be respected. The incidents haven't been confirmed by the LAPD or the couple's rep. So anything you want to add about that, Kourtney?
That's scary, Devin. That's scary and that's strange for the people that are flying the drones. Like, what are you trying to obtain? You get what I'm saying? That's the kind of stuff that would make someone not want to come out of the house. You know what I mean? That's scary stuff. People don't want their privacy invaded, and people should be respectful of that.
Yeah, that's a really scary incident for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and I hope they're able to figure out a solution because they deserve to have their privacy and to be in their own home without worrying about being watched or photographed by drones or paparazzi or whatever. All right, you guys, well, those were the moments of the week this week. What was your reaction to Sofia and Scott's split? Did you see it coming? What did you think about Tristan and his comment on Khloe's Instagram? And what about Khloe's unrecognizable new look? What do you think's going on there? Is it plastic surgery? Is it Facetune? Was it just an interesting photo? Finally, what did you think of the other headline that we discussed? Let it all out down there in the comment section, and be sure to check out the morning tea weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for more celebrity news. Hit that subscribe button, tap that bell for notifications, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye.